It's Mike with TechPB.com. We're going to kind of cover an interesting topic today. We're going to kind of revisit the old argument and the old topic of the Autococker versus the Automag. And before I even start talking about these, and I'm not going to talk about the differences between these two, and I'm not going to compare them, but what I am going to talk about is, you know, neither one of these guns are no longer in production. And it amazes me how many, you know, brand new players, young players that come along, you know, some 15-year-old shithead who couldn't fight himself out of a fucking wet paper bag has the nerve to walk onto a paintball field and talk shit about the Autococker or the Automag. It just absolutely sickens me that somebody, you know, with that lack of respect will walk onto a paintball field and run his little mouth, you know, on a gun that's older than he is. But you know, with that said, you know, these paintball guns are the classic cars of paintball, and they're getting harder and harder to find. This one's an Automag RT. You know, this is a 2004 Autococker. These are still, you know, this was the last decent Autococker that War Games Products came out with before they sold out and started making shit overseas. I believe these were made in the late 90s. I've had this gun for quite a while, but you know, these are the 67 Camaros, the 65 Mustangs, you know, the GTOs. These are the classic cars of paintball. And if you plan on being in this sport, and I've been in this sport for 18 years, you know, it feels amazing to go out there and shoot these guns. Now, keep in mind, when you're playing X-Ball, I mean, I have, you know, all the toys too. I've got the Marks, I've got the Egos, I've got the Intimidators, and I've got a whole closet full of Smart Parts guns. But when I'm going out there and I'm playing against the newer players, which are the lifeblood of our sport, those are the people that are going to ensure the sport's survival. I don't go out there with a Mark. I go out there with a mechanical gun, you know, like an Autococker or an Automag or a Spider, just to kind of even up the odds a little bit. You know, I don't think you know, some of the guys that have, you know, been in the sport for a little while, to get into this sport now is very scary, and that is why the sport is dying. My wife no longer goes out and plays paintball. She played paintball for 5 or 6 years, refuses to go out and play. A lot of the newer players, they go out there and they get, you know, striped up with, you know, a Mark or, you know, Intimidator or Shocker or whatever, and they get, you know, they get their head blown off and they never come back. You know, so if you've been playing paintball for a little while, think about taking a step back when you're playing against some of the newer players and picking up one of these guns. It's an absolute rush to play with because it really makes the game a lot more interesting and a lot more fun. But I wanted to kind of bring this out, you know, about the attitude of paintball and where it was back a few years ago and where it's at now. I have nothing but respect for, you know, Tom K and Airgun Designs, Bud Orr with War Games, and you should too. These guys really, you know, back when they were making these guns, you know, paintball was a lot different of a sport than it was now. There was a lot more people involved in it that just truly loved it. The margins weren't as big. The big umbrella companies weren't taking over. There was a lot more love of the sport back when these guns were being made. And if you can get your hands on one and you can find one, I definitely suggest trying to pick one of these up because they're disappearing. And once they're gone, and they're not coming back. You can't buy these guns anymore. But I kind of wanted to bring that topic up today. I mean, this year I've been playing paintball for 18 years. I've had it with the sport. I'm done with it. You know, there was a team recently, Widowmakers, that picked me up to play. I've just about refused. I want, you know, to come back and play, but you know, I'm done with this sport completely. I've been playing it for 18 years, and you know, after, you know, you guys have been watching the channel, you guys, you know, me and my wife are probably, you know, planning on having our kids probably around October, and that'll probably be it for me in paintball. But I wanted to say something about the newer players that are coming into the sport and the lack of respect from existing players towards the newer players. It seems that everybody that plays paintball now is just trying to do as much damage as they possibly can to the sport for the year and a half that they're playing in it before they leave. And that really sucks. You know, I wish that in order for paintball to be taken as serious, you know, as serious as a sport, you know, as a serious sport, you know, the attitudes have really got to change. The work ethic's really got to change. Nobody bashes the newer players harder than the paintball industry does, and it disgusts me. You know, so I wanted to bring that up today, you know, when talking about these two guns. If you can find these guns, out on the internet. Definitely pick them up if you can. And you know, if you're a heavy X-ball player like I am, try going out and playing in the woods every now and then and seeing what fun paintball can be. Because if we don't start getting fun back into paintball, the sport's already dying and it's not going to last for very long. Thank you very much for watching this rant.